What's up guys, this is Burton Hughes. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're gonna be talking about my Kawasaki Ninja H2. Let's go. So just like we always do, we're gonna start at the front of the motorcycle, we're gonna work our way back, and I'm gonna talk about the in and outs of the H2, talk about the difference between mine, which is the H2 Carbon, the H2, and then the H2R. Mine is an H2 Carbon, and the funny thing about it is, the only thing that's carbon on this motorcycle is the front fairing. You can't make it up. When they say H2 Carbon, they literally mean the front. The only difference outside of that is the actual color of the paint. So what you'll see on some of the other H2s is like a mirrored finish, almost like a chrome, like a black chrome. This is very subtle. It's the same color, but it's a matte chrome. With the H2 Carbon, you get the matte chrome and you get the carbon fiber front. You'll notice that on the bottom here, we have the air duct coolers. They're in carbon fiber. It definitely helps. They look cool, but I do notice way less brake fade with those being on there, especially when you're on higher speeds with this. The brakes get pretty hot. Anything that was the flat black plastic that you guys know I'm allergic to has been converted to carbon fiber. So on this one, you'll notice that it's the twill and it's the gloss. So that's the difference here. So with the Japanese bikes, most times it's the twill gloss carbon fiber. All of the instrument clusters, all of the front covers are gonna be the twill gloss. The front wings, these are carbon fiber. One of the cool things about the H2 Carbon is now they're doing the green tubular frame. Again, it just kind of has a UFO look to it. Upgraded the domino grips, which is pretty standard for me. We went with the Puig light smoke windscreen. That's a must. Another thing, if you don't have it, but the quick action keyless gas tank, it takes like 10 minutes to install. It's one of the best as far as modifications. If you look, it has the green, so I just kind of tying in the green and black and carbon look. My favorite modification that we did with this, I don't even really know what you call them, but they're the Trickstar radiator hoses. It's not really a hose, it's actually titanium, so we call it the radiator plumbing because the actual radiator hose on there is typically that rubber, just kind of like that rubber hose. But this kind of ties in with the carbon fiber exhaust. So on this one, we went with the Van Diemen full exhaust, polished. You don't see that a lot. I think actually Fastlane D has the same exhaust, but he has the non-polished. It's just whatever flavor you like. I like the polished, and then we tied in the radiator plumbing with it. Just sets it off. You know, again, I don't know if there's any function as far as it goes, but as far as form, it checks all the boxes. And as we move our way back, you'll notice that I had the Louis Moto custom seat. And I did not upgrade any of the padding. The seat itself was super comfortable. All I did was do the cover. I did it myself. You just use a staple gun. It's super simple. But again, all of these carbon fiber trim pieces are not stock. The rear sets, you guys hear me talk about them a lot. On this, Light Tech R does not come, it's not available for the H2. So we went with the Sato Racing rear sets, fully adjustable GP shift option. But you can see that they're powder coated black. They look really good, but there's a ton of adjustment on these. And I just noticed that with these, it being black, it just ties in better with the body. I just don't love kind of like that aluminum, the aluminum stock ones. But outside of that, there's a ton of adjustability and they work really well. So all in all, they're great. Rear hugger, I went with the carbon fiber. Again, the stock one, it's just fine. So again, you don't have to upgrade this stuff. It's just for me, I hate the flat black plastic. So went ahead and did the gloss twill carbon. The biggest game changer on the H2 is these bikes are relatively heavy. We went with the Rotobox Boost carbon fiber wheels. So with the carbon fiber wheels, the rotating mass is significantly less. So although it's still a heavier bike, the carbon fiber wheels completely change the ride. So you'll see on some of the rollers and some of the point of view that we filmed, this bike is just so easy to ride. Like I said, it is somewhat on the heavy side, but with the carbon fiber wheels, changed it completely. You guys know they have like the big fender that hangs off. There's very limited R&D with these, so you're somewhat limited as far as aftermarket with these. There's just not a huge market for it. It's a very niche bike. It's on the expensive side, so you just don't see a lot of the H2s. But we did go with the integrated tail light and turn signals, and then the plate relocation. You can do it tucked, or you can do it kind of like your standard mount. Me, I always like tuck. Here in Texas, as long as the license plate is completely visible, which it is, they don't give you too much trouble with the tuck plate position. The one thing I want to point out before you flip this bike around are the tech spec tank grip pads. So with this, it comes with the sides and then also the front. They do look cool, so it is 4-man function, but this is a very inexpensive, I would say would be a necessity mod for your bike. Especially with this, it puts down 246 horsepower and it's short wheelbase, so it definitely, it gets light in the front. You wanna really be able to obviously hang on with the handlebars, but you're also gripping the tank with your legs, so the grip pads definitely help. So I wanted to flip the bike around because there's a little more detail on this side. So when you look to the rear of the motorcycle, you'll notice that it has the gold chain. So we did the 520 chain conversion. Alex kind of talked about it, I believe on the R1 video. Again, going to the 520 chain conversion, the gold chain we just did just because it looks cool. But on this side with the single-sided swing arm, we did the hugger that ties into the actual chain guard. And then this is the single-sided swing arm. So this is the swing arm cover, and then also it's the lower chain guard. So this is also where the intake is for the supercharger. So this is considered the intake. So this whole trim piece here, the supercharger's just inside there. So this is the intake tube. It's that flat black plastic from the factory. I personally think, seeing that it's an H2 carbon, this should all be carbon, but it's not, so we add it. The intake tube goes all the way into the superchargers on the other side, but that's the intake. And then this is the front sprocket cover. And then with that, it does have the standard with the H2, which I think is smart. It has the extra stopping power with the standard Brembo brakes on this one. So we actually have not had to upgrade the braking system. So this is what we have so far with the H2. If there's anything that you think that I should add that I maybe have overlooked that I've missed, please let me know. I am not an expert. I'm a motorcycle enthusiast. Let's go for a ride. This bike is, it's supercharged 1000, obviously it's the Kawasaki H2, but as wild as this thing looks, it's incredibly easy to ride. It's almost too good, very similar to what I said about the R1M. The way this thing shifts up and down, I'm just gonna say it, like Kawasaki's got it figured out. Like I talk about my ZX6 and my ZX10RR. Kawasaki is just amazing at what they do. I think this bike makes 246 wheel horsepower. Cruising, it's amazing. Super easy to ride, it's very versatile. It's a bigger bike, so it has, it's just comfortable. I mean, I don't know what to say otherwise, it's just super comfortable. But when you want to get rowdy, this thing obviously just puts the power down, but unless you're in boost, it's incredibly easy to ride. And I think that's the biggest thing that people say is when they get on it, they expect it to be quirky or, you know, kind of finicky, but it's everything but that. We do have an intercooler kit coming. It's not really going to do anything as far as horsepower, but it's going to just, with the heat that we get down here in Texas, it's just going to help keep the bike running cool. I may upgrade the blow-off valve just so we get a little bit more of that sound that you get, because this bike makes all the noises.
exhaust note is great, but that supercharger whistle never gets old. Never gets old. I did the mirror block off plates on this just to clean up the front. They have the upper winglets, but just to be different, I went ahead and didn't install them. There's a company in Japan called Web Bike that has the upper wings that actually have an integrated mirror. They had them for I don't know if it was a couple years ago, but since then they have yet to re-release them. So I'm hoping at some time they'll release those winglets with the integrated mirrors, because that I would do. We've got this suspension dialed in for me. Got it all adjusted. It's smooth. Super smooth. It's super important to do that. I think it's one of the major things that we overlook. A lot of people do the slip-on exhaust or the full exhaust, and they do the rear fender eliminator, but one of the major functions of the motorcycle is the actual suspension. So it's definitely something that you want to do. It's not too terribly complicated. You just got to find a local tech that can do it. They factor in your height, your weight. Basically, if you're going to be track riding, if you're going to be street, but they'll dial that thing in. Just make sure you have someone that's good. It's not just going to go in there and just turn some screws. On a side note, I read everyone's comments. People are kind of asking me what my fitness regimen is. I think the biggest thing is lifting weights is important for sure, but more than anything, it's 85% nutrition and diet. I do take supplements. Like I take a daily multivitamin. I'm currently taking a parasite dewormer. I don't think I haven't seen anything crazy come out of me yet, but I take that. I take a Iris C moss. I take that through Alex Jones. They have just amazing nutritional products. I take Sheila Jeet. It's just kind of it's a Sheila Jeet gummy. I also get that from Alex Jones website. And that one's just for overall vitality. It's really, I don't know if it's men's focused or not, but I think women can take it, but for men, it just helps kind of stabilize our hormones. You really want to make sure you have the magnesium in the body so that you're not cramping up. Obviously stay hydrated. But I just eat really clean, lean meats. I really don't consume much dairy. I would say I have the occasional bowl of cereal. I use skim milk, so nothing crazy. But the biggest thing is get your arms wrapped around the nutrition. You can't out-train a bad diet. A lot of people on here saying I don't train legs. That's hilarious to me. A while back, I shot a leg feature workout for Inside Fitness magazine. So everyone's saying that I train legs. I don't train legs. That's laughable. Just genetically, you have calves or not. So I have a sprinter calf, so it's a high insertion. I train them like crazy, but the overall aesthetic, what they say is that your arms, your neck, and your calves should all be around the same size, which mine are. And if you go over to my Instagram, you can see some of my photos, see what I actually look like, because I post some fitness stuff on there. I'm a fitness model. I'm on, this is kind of funny, I'm on over 200, I think I'm about 200 romance book novels. I'm the model on the front, so I'll be like a Navy SEAL or a cop or a cowboy or something. But that all kind of goes into the mailbox money that I get that helps pay for these motorcycles. You can't out-train a bad diet. Get your arms wrapped around the nutrition. I'm actually working on a nutritional ebook, kind of an eat this, not that. But if you're out, if you can just skip the cheese, so if you're going to Chipotle, just skip the cheese and the sour cream. That right there is going to save you hundreds of calories and just reducing fat. So high protein, moderate to low carb, and try to avoid fat. Fats are about 20% of my diet. Just wanted to touch base on that because I've been seeing some comments. But anyway, back to the bike. This H2 is incredibly comfortable to ride. The rider position's comfortable. It's not an overly aggressive forward lean. It's pretty level. It's loud. I will say, this Van Diemen, this thing's loud. But all in all, the shifting is so smooth. It's instantaneous. I would say it's right along the lines of my M1000, the R1M that we just did a feature on. Again, this thing's just buttery smooth. Now, when you want to get into boost, that's when things get rowdy. But the bike feels very planted. On close course track days, I've been well over 200 miles an hour on this, and there's no vibration, there's no shake, just nothing. It's planted. The bike is incredibly stable, which is actually scary because when you're going over 200 miles an hour on this thing, you actually, I mean, it's relatively safe. I know it sounds reckless, but it's not. Like when you're at the track, I mean, it's not like someone's going to pull out in front of you. It's incredibly planted and stable, so the aero winglets, they really do help with aerodynamics. So I tell you, a lot of people are anti-winglets. They absolutely have function, and especially on a bike like this, you're going to want it. This thing is literally a land rocket. We're just cruising right now. It does not have cruise control. I'm getting kind of spoiled with that on other bikes. My right hand right now it's asleep. This would definitely be one to add in your collection. You absolutely could daily ride this. Like I said, if you're just cruising around, it's a joy. But when you get into boost, there's not much on the road that's going to be able to keep up or hang. And that's a fact. I know a lot of people lower them and they put an arm on them and they stretch them, but I'm not really interested in that with this. You can do builds and make them well over 300 horsepower, but I just want to keep the dependability and the rideability of mine. Just keep a normal wheelbase. A lot of times I lower my bikes 1 inch in the front, 1 inch in the back. On this one I didn't have to. It's I'm flat-footed. A lot of times I'm kind of on the ball of my feet with some of my bikes. But this one I'm flat-footed. It's a wide bike, so when I'm on a traffic bike I typically keep 1 foot up. So it's a little wider. If you're thinking about, you know, a Kawasaki, you really can't go wrong with any of them. My ZX6R, obviously, you know, right now is my preferred track bike. The ZX10RR, not much enough to say that thing's just a dream to ride. But this is essentially the ZX10RR with a supercharger on it. And they hit it out of the park with this. I don't really know of any other supercharged bikes on the market. People think it's a novelty and the bike would be gimmicky and kind of quirky. There's zero quirks with this thing. It is just a great bike to ride. You could daily this. This could be your only bike. There's just nothing else to say that this thing could be the perfect bike. It's a blend of comfort, absolute brutal speed, looks cool. Even if people don't know motorcycles, they know this thing's serious because of the tubular frame. I mean, it looks like an alien bike. It looks like a UFO. But it's an easy bike to ride considering the way it looks. I'm super grateful for the feedback that we're getting on the channel. Please like, comment, subscribe. Ask the questions. I'll do my best to answer them. Like I said, with the nutritional stuff that I talked about today, I kind of rambled, but really think about it. Eat this, not that. If you can avoid dairy, do it. Cheese is wonderful, but it's incredibly bad for you. So maybe just eat a pizza or take in the dairy once a week. That's all I got for now. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you again. Thanks.